I can't show you any dogs, but I can show you this lovely little lizard. This lizard is not going to become my service animal, but he is on campus. I have just finished my first day of training at Canine Companions for Independence, and I just wanted to give you a little overview of what to expect on your first day. Your first day should be pretty similar no matter what region you go into. Most of the Canine Companions Independence training is pretty similar. What they do is you go in, grab some breakfast on your own, and then somebody comes out and gives you sort of a quick overview of what to expect for the day. And then we go over to the training facility, and once we're there, just know that in the morning you're not going to be working with any service dogs, and you're going to be going over sort of the rudimentary basics of what training is going to be like, and then also sort of what are the basics of interacting with a dog. And they talk about sort of how to use motivation and correction in order to help communicate to your partner. And then after that, you take a couple of breaks in between, and then you go to lunch. Lunch was provided by some awesome volunteers. After lunch, you might have a few minutes to sort of recollect yourself, and then you're back in the training room. And once you get into the training room, you're going to see a bunch of dogs and a bunch of the kennels, and that's pretty cool. One thing that they do say is, don't approach the kennels, just leave the dogs alone, go to your desk, and you go through another lecture if you haven't finished all the lectures in the morning. And then you are going to practice on a couple of commands. And actually, you work on some of the commands on Carpet Dog. It's termed Carpet Dog, and it's this round, inanimate object that has some carpet on it, and it has a training collar on it, and you practice your commands and corrections and motivations on Carpet Dog, and it's pretty widely known throughout CCI what Carpet Dog is. And so in the afternoon, what you do is you work with Carpet Dog again, and then you get to work with a bunch of dogs. And they sort of rotate the dogs around. It depends on sort of which dogs they think might match with you. And so you get to work with a bunch of different dogs, and they sort of evaluate what your handling styles are, how you interact with the dog. And then at the very end, you get to sort of sit there and cuddle with the dog, and that's a lot of fun. So that's basically it. The first day is pretty much a breeze. Don't get too anxious about it. You're gonna mess up. Even after going to training for my third time, I still mess up. So I would say just have fun. Listen to your instructors, and don't worry too much. Trust in the process. Trust that they know what they're doing, because they really do. I have no complaints whatsoever in terms of the dogs that I've been placed with. They have been wonderful partners. Out for a run. At least Florida's flat. You gotta get a couple of miles in. Spent all day in a classroom, so gonna exercise now. Just finished day 2 of team training, and it was a lot of fun. We got to work with the dogs more, which is always a highlight when you're at team training. We learned about corrections and motivations and how you have to switch back and forth between them, and that's how you communicate with your partner, with your dog. And we got to learn a couple more commands, which is always I think it's a little difficult if you don't know the commands, because they come at you pretty quickly. There's a lot of commands that you have to learn at one time, And the commands are very specific about what you want the dog to do. And if you don't have a lot of experience with that, it can get a little confusing or a little complex when you're also having to manage other things like a wheelchair or like crutches or something like that. And then also remembering your command structure of how to give a command and how to communicate to your dog if you think they're doing the right thing or if they're not doing the right thing. So it gets kind of complicated if you have never done it before. My suggestion is to read the handbook and try to remember the commands before you get to training. It's really helpful. I am lucky enough that I've been through training a lot, and so most of the commands stay pretty similar since the last time I've trained. So I do have a bit of a heads up before most people. But anyway, most of the day was spent trading off with different dogs and then getting some snuggle time. That is definitely different from a lot of the other trainings that I had, because we didn't get as much sort of interaction snuggle time as we do this time around. So that's always fun. It's great to get to sort of just sit there with the dog and play with it and interact with it without having to be stressed out about if you did the command correctly or if you communicated to them correctly. And that's basically it for day 2. They give us some exams, or what they call homework now, that you are supposed to complete after class, and they come straight out of the handbook that you're given, and you just have to complete them. They don't take a lot of time, and they're a great study guide for the final exam that we take. So I don't have a consistent gym to go to right now, and I really want to still work out while I'm at team training. So I ran yesterday, and today I am going to just do a couple of body weight exercises to just get some energy out. And when you're waiting to get matched for your dog, it can be a little bit anxiety inducing, and so sometimes it's good to do something to take your mind off of it and get some energy out at the same time. I am about to hit the hay. Tomorrow is a big day. It is pre-match day, and I'm really tired, and I don't want to be tired tomorrow because the trainers match you with the dog that they hope you're going to go home with. So I want to be well rested. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave it in the section below. And you can also tweet me at Seemiaroll, SEEMIAROLL, and I will catch you in a couple of days. Good night.